40 years back in November 1984, 4,006 were killed in Delhi, the capital of India. The genocide continued unabated for 3 days. Every minute, one Sikh was killed on the streets of Delhi. After the genocide, the guilty were given high positions and they were given the position of power. For 40 years, the victims are still waiting for justice. The cases for the justice to the victims are still continuing even now. I, H.S. Phoolka, a senior advocate, has been handling these cases right from November 1984 onwards. Through this video series, we have made an effort to bring to you how this massacre was planned. It's an effort to take you through the whole entire journey of this 14 years.
Hi everyone and welcome to today's episode. My name is Neetika Khaitan and I am a lawyer pursuing a PhD in history at Yale University in the United States. It is my pleasure to be joined today by senior advocate H.S. Phoolka, who has worked on cases related to the 1984 anti-Sikh pogrom from the very beginning. Thank you so much, Phoolka sir, for joining us.
Thank you.
Of the prominent leaders implicated in the 1984 anti-Sikh violence, Sajjan Kumar is the only one incarcerated and behind bars today. Could you tell us a bit about the Sajjan Kumar case?
This is the maximum number of evidence has come against Sajjan Kumar. Sajjan Kumar's name is very prominently mentioned in the PJDR report also. Sajjan Kumar's name came up in the newspapers in the first week of November itself that Sajjan Kumar was involved. And there were a number of affidavits thereafter also filed against Sajjan Kumar. But there was a concerted effort to shield him. At each and every stage, in the other episode I told you, when the CBI tried to arrest him in 1990, how the High Court came to his favor, how all the efforts were frustrated and the CBI jeeps were burned. Like this, there has been continuous effort to shield Sajjan Kumar. After this Nanavati Commission report, the CBI registered the fresh case against Sajjan Kumar. Actually, this was the re-registration of the case against Sajjan Kumar, and the CBI filed the closure report against Titler. That closure report was not accepted by the court, and because of that they learnt a lesson. They filed the charge sheet against Sajjan Kumar because there was also a lot of material against Sajjan Kumar. So they filed 2 charge sheets against Sajjan Kumar, one in Delhi Kant case and the other in a Sultanpuri case. These charge sheets were filed in January 2010. The matter came up for hearing before the magistrate, both of the charge sheets. And I was present there representing the victims. And we asked the magistrate that it's a murder case, you issue non-bail warrants against Sajjan Kumar. Now, this is a normal practice. Whenever a murder case charge sheet is filed without arrest, the magistrate issue the non-bail warrants. But Sajjan Kumar lawyers were also there. Sajjan Kumar lawyer said, no, you issue summons. And you see, the point is that if the warrants are issued, then immediately Sajjan Kumar either have to seek bail or he has to go underground. If only the summons are issued, then he gets sufficient time to obtain the bail. The public prosecutor who was there, we asked him that you also support our case. You also demand that the non-bail warrant should be issued. But unfortunately, the public prosecutor totally sided with the Sajjan Kumar's lawyers. So it was a shock for us, and the magistrate issued only summons against Sajjan Kumar. So we realized after that if this is the way, the public prosecutor is going to behave. He was the prosecutor of the CBI. If this is the way they are going to behave, then there is no use of the charge sheet. Because you see, in criminal case, the main role is of the public prosecutor. The complainant lawyer is there only to check, and he gets the. After the public prosecutor, then he gets the right to speak. So if the public prosecutor is not cooperating, then there is no use of the charge sheet. So immediately we filed a petition in the High Court, Delhi High Court, that the special public prosecutor should be appointed. Fortunately, this petition was listed before the Chief Justice. Justice A.P. Shah was Chief Justice at that time. Justice Shah immediately took up the petition. He said the victims have a right to have a lawyer of their own choice. He directed the CBI that you sit with Mr. Phoolka, take the names from him of the lawyers, and you mutually decide which lawyer should be appointed as a special public prosecutor. So these are the orders. You see, these are the orders of 2010 of Justice A.P. Shah bench. He was about to retire. This happened in the first week of February, and he was retiring on 10th of February. So we were wondering that this we have very short time, and this is the order he passed. This is the order he passed on this, that Mr. Phoolka will give a list and CBI will sit with him and will decide. Ultimately, the CBI Joint Director, Mr. Golcha, he is the Satish Golcha, he is now the Special Commissioner of Delhi Police. He met me and we discussed many names. And then among those names, he told me about the name of a lawyer from Chandigarh, a leading criminal lawyer, R.S. Cheema. So I said that he is based in Chandigarh, will he come to Delhi? He said, if you ask him to come, he will listen to you. So I immediately called up in his Golcha presence, I called up Mr. Cheema and I said, we need your help. And Cheema readily agreed. He said, you have been working on these, devoting so much for these cases throughout this time. Now let me also play my role into it. So he agreed. So we gave the name to the Justice Mishra on 8th of February, Justice Shah. On 8th of February 2010, this is the order Justice Shah passed. On 10th, he retired. On 8th February, he passed this order, appointing R.S. Cheema and along with him D.P. Singh as the special public prosecutors. Then he also appointed B.S. June. He was the Director of Prosecution at that time. B.S. June was appointed as the special public prosecutor regarding the cases which are pending at trial. So this was a major decision, and this came out of a great help to us. I mean, through this, the prosecution was done properly, and we also got the access. We used to then coordinate with the public prosecutor. Now, as far as Cheema's role, which was of a great help, that I'll tell you later. But B.S. June, when he took over the cases, B.S. June called me after a month or so from taking over, and he said that I have come across a case where a charge sheet against Sajjan Kumar of a murder case of 1992, that charge sheet is prepared against Sajjan Kumar in 1992 and is not filed in the court, is lying in the police files of another case. He said, when I saw, he got shocked. So he called me. He said, you see, this is happening. So I immediately met June. So we decided, we planned. And what it turned out to be, this was a case of 1987. In 1987, the case was investigated. The main investigation was conducted during the time when BP Singh government was in power. This was a case of the killing of Tarlok Singh, and the complainant was Upadesh Kaur. The killing of Preetam Singh, in that case the complainant was Mahinder Kaur, and her two sons Kuldeep Singh and Uttam Singh. So most of the investigation took place during the time of BP Singh's government. The investigating officer was very honest. He conducted the proper investigation. But after that, In 1991, Congress government again came in power. It was Narasimha Rao government. In 1991, police gave a report that this case should be closed as untraced. The file went to the public prosecutor. The public prosecutor gave the opinion that there is so much material on the file. There's so many witnesses. But this can't be closed. Charge sheet has to be filed. So faced with that situation, the Delhi police has to finally prepare the charge sheet. The charge sheet was signed by SHO. The charge sheet was signed by ACP also. This is on in 1992. They finally signed on 8th April 1992. ACP SHO signed the charge sheet. Now after what is to be done? It is only to be filed in the court. But instead of filing it in the court, they go and place it in the file of another case, which is the police file. And in 2011, BS June traced it. Look at this, what's happening. So he told me that this murder case file is lying over here. So I filed application in the court that this police should be directed to file the charge sheet in the court, because June said I can't. Police has to file it. So I filed an application in the court. When I filed this application in the court, that judge, he transferred the case because there was so much pressure. It was the Congress government. There was so much of pressure. And alongside, I'll tell you what was happening in the High Court. It's not only in the lower court. I will tell you what was happening in the High Court also. Similar things were happening. Judges were scared even to pass the orders. That application went to another judge. That judge ordered that this is a separate case. We cannot direct the police to file it. The police may take a decision and file it separately. Ultimately, the file was sent to the Delhi police to take a decision and file it, and a pressure from the government built, and the Lieutenant Governor decided the case will be reinvestigated by the police. So case was put into reinvestigation. It goes to cold storage. This is the kind of thing which has been happening. So now I was telling you about the main case and what happened in the High Court. When summons were issued against Sajjan Kumar applied for the bail. That matter came up before Teji, Justice P.S. Teji. Now, he was at that time the session judge. Later on, he became the judge of High Court. Teji dismissed the bail of Sajjan Kumar. They went into the High Court, against that order of Teji. In the meantime, the Teji also issued warrants against not Teji. In the meantime, the hearing came before the magistrate. Magistrate had to issue non-bail warrant because Sajjan Kumar didn't appear. Sajjan Kumar went underground. A person who is judge security, he was judge plus security. There were 25 policemen always with him, and he goes underground. He remains underground for almost 10-15 days. His case was filed in the High Court. In the High Court, the day the matter was listed for arguments, the judge went on leave. He said, I don't want to hear this matter. He went on leave. The case was transferred, the case was listed before the other judge. When it comes to the other judge, the second judge, he said, I don't want to hear this matter. Posted tomorrow before the regular bench. Sajjan Kumar Vakil said that give me protection till tomorrow. He said, okay, I'll give you protection, said you should not be arrested till tomorrow. So I got up, I said, how can you pass this order? Either you are hearing this matter or you are not hearing this matter. He said, for one day, no happens will fall. I said, it will fall. When the judge didn't agree, I said, either you are hearing the matter or you are not hearing the matter. If you are not hearing the matter, you have no right to pass the order. I literally shouted at the judge. When from the outside the court, the lawyer came running, what's happening in the court? He got so scared and shattered, he got up and ran inside his chamber. Till later on, he called the bar president. He said, you see, this Phoolka has done to me. Later on, his own staff told him that he is right. If you are not hearing the matter, how can you pass order? He simply returned the matter next day before the same judge. Next day again, that judge went on leave. He again didn't come. Well, look at this, what is happening? And High Court judges are scared to pass the orders. Then the matter was listed before the third judge. The third judge heard the case and he granted him anticipatory bail. So this was the state of affairs, what was happening over here. Then this matter, the trial started. Acha, what happened? Then the trial was to start before Teji, before PS Teji. Sajjan Kumar team was so scared from Teji, because Teji was a very strict judge. They went to transfer this case from Teji, ultimately. And this case was transferred from Teji to another judge. And the other judge heard the matter. She passed framed the charges against Sajjan Kumar, and against the framing of the charges, we requested the court to first take up the case of Delhi Kent. That case should be taken one by one, both cases can't go together. So the case of Delhi Kent was taken up first. Orders for framing of the charges were passed against in Delhi Kent case. Sajjan Kumar go into appeal to the High Court, and fortunately the matter was listed before Justice Sanghi. He is recently retired as the Chief Justice of Uttarakhand High Court. Justice Sanghi. Justice Sanghi, on the first day, tell them argue. They said notice reply. He said no. You argue the petition, what notice, what reply are you talking about? The first day he argued, listened their argument, listened to CBI law, he said judgment reserved. First day itself, he said judgment reserved. After about 10-12 days, he gave such a strong judgment. He gave almost 50-60 pages judgment and say that the main reason the Sajjan Kumar is seeking the discharge is that there is a delay. He said he has benefited from this delay. This murder case should have been started in 84, 85 itself. He said it is already 24 years have passed, and he says benefited from this delay, and he dismissed his petition. Against that, they go into appeal to the Supreme Court. We didn't come to know about their appeal. Let me tell you the complete story in the meantime. Then I will come back to what happened in the Supreme Court. In the meantime, when the evidence was to start, so the Sajjan Kumar people were trying their best to approach the witnesses and to threaten them, to influence them, or to pay them. They were trying their best. Among these witnesses, there was a girl, Nirpreet Kaur. Nirpreet Kaur's story is a very different kind of a story which shows the fight, real love for the father, the story which shows how much a daughter how she fight to get the justice for the murder of her father. Nirpreet Kaur just 16 years old in 1884. He was a college student. Her father was killed in front of her own eyes. And after that, Nirpreet Kaur started going to the relief camps, and she knew the killers. They were all Sajjan Kumar's people. She has also seen Sajjan Kumar. She was trying that the case somehow should start against Sajjan Kumar. There was another person, Wing Commander Pannu, who was helping her, and Pannu was killed by them. Wing Commander Pannu. They showed it a case of accident because it was their government, but actually he was killed by them. Nirpreet's mother got scared that they will not leave you, so she sent her to Punjab and put her in Punjab College for graduation. In Punjab, Nirpreet joined the militants. And her main object was to take revenge from Sajjan Kumar. And after that, she was when she married a person who, according to them, was a category terrorist according to police. No, the police says he was not involved, but according to police, he was a category terrorist, and he came to Delhi, and police thought that he has come to Delhi to kill Sajjan Kumar, so they killed him. Police picked up and killed him. Then after that, whenever there was an attack on Sajjan Kumar, they will pick up Nirpreet and her mother, and they will beat them up. When once they hang them upside down, she will tell you her story herself. Then she was false cases where she was implicated in the false cases. She was in jail for 8 years. That she suffered. She was tortured badly, and for 8 years she was in jail. In jail, she did her post graduation also, and in jail, Kiran Bedi was the superintendent at that time. So Kiran Bedi somehow convinced her that you are educated, you should fight your case legally. So after Nirpreet was released, she was working with the right victims. She formed, when she was giving employment to these widows, she formed an organization where the widows were given some work. So she was working with them. Then the Sajjan Kumar case started. That time she became the witness against Sajjan Kumar. In this case, she was the main witness against Sajjan Kumar. And this case complainant was Jagdish Kaur. This case was of murder. Sultanpuri case was murder of 5-6. Husband of Jagdish Kaur, son of Jagdish Kaur, and 3 cousin brothers of Jagdish Kaur. And so main witnesses were Jagdish Kaur, Nirpreet Kaur, and Jagsher Singh. Jagsher Singh was also here that time, and her 3 brothers were killed. So these were the main witnesses. There were many other witnesses also. So Nirpreet came to me. This, you see, this special PP was appointed in February 2010. In March, Nirpreet came to me. He said, Veerji, those people are trying to approach me, Sajjan Kumar's people. I say, involve them. Keep them involved. Let them not go to any other witness. So she kept him involved somehow. And she said that I will talk to all other witnesses. I will settle your deal with all other witnesses. So one month, very important month of March and April, that she kept them involved into this, assuring them that she will get she will get a deal done with all other witnesses also. She was negotiating also. She will, I'll tell her, she will narrate the whole story to you. In the meantime, she said that now, what should I do? I said, you bring a recording of Sajjan Kumar. We will get his bail cancelled. I said, all other people, that will not work. Bring a recording of Sajjan Kumar. So she tells them that you please let me meet Sajjan Kumar. My father was so close to Sajjan Kumar. Why did he kill him? She was insisting on this. One day they say, okay, you come and meet Sajjan Kumar. That day Nirpreet had a camera in her button. She was hiding a camera to record Sajjan Kumar's statement. So they took her to a place and say, we will take you to Sajjan Kumar. And over there, when she was sitting and talking to them, some of them, those people, they became suspicious about Nirpreet Kaur. She ran from there. They were following her. They were after her. She ran at full speed. Somehow she saved her life. That is the time they realized. But before that, before this incident happened, I met the Chief Minister of Punjab, Prakash Singh Badal. His wife was a cancer patient and undergoing the cancer treatment in New York. So Mr. Badal came back around end of April. So I met him and I told him that we need the security for these victims. And he said, we will help you. Tell us how to arrange it. He called for his DIG security and DIG intelligence, IG, sorry, ADGP intelligence, and he said, whatever Mr. Phoolka says, please make the arrangements. Now that person was Suresh Arora. He happened to be my classmate in law college. So he tells me, Phoolka Saab, whatever you want, we will do it. And he said, I have been in UNO. I know how much embarrassment the country has to face because these goons are not punished. He said, I will go out of the way to ensure that they are punished. So after that, Suresh Arora made all the arrangements. I said, we want a safe house for this. So he made a safe house in Mohali. Then we say, we want police commandos. So he posted the police commando. Then I say, we want the cars that whenever these people go out, they should go under the protection. So he said that is also arranged. So the Punjab government made all the arrangements. In the meantime, what we did, we asked Mr. Cheema. So Mr. Cheema is the special public prosecutor. He was of a great help. He did very hard work in this matter. In fact, he made this case finally. So we asked Cheema to ask CBI to write to Punjab government, because we didn't want the security of Delhi government, Delhi police. Delhi police was under the influence of Sajjan Kumar and Titler. So Cheema was able to convince the CBI to write to Punjab government that these witnesses belong to Punjab. Some of these witnesses belong to Punjab, and the Punjab government should give them security. So that came handy to us. So the Punjab government provided the commandos, and by the time this incident happened of Narpreet, when they came to know that Narpreet is trying to befool them, they then tried to contact the witnesses and they couldn't find them, because these witnesses were at a secret place. They couldn't find them, and when they were able to ultimately, when they learned that these witnesses are at this place, and they lied that they can't even go near to it. In the month of July, when the evidence started, so we requested the Punjab government. Punjab government has a guest house here in Delhi, Punjab Bhavan. So the Punjab government gave the rooms to these victims in the Punjab Bhavan, and Punjab Bhavan always has the police, Punjab police security, and these commandos also were with them, with the victims. So wherever the victims were going, they were going with Punjab police commandos. They were going with full security. So these people were not able to approach them. Jagdish Kaur belonged to Amritsar. They tried to approach some people in Amritsar to convey a message. So a lot of this was going on. When Jagdish Kaur gave her evidence, that evidence, if you see that evidence, the manner in which her husband and children her son was killed, really it is hair-raising, really. It is so brutal. It shows the brutality. When the cross-examination of Jagdish Kaur was going on, they were not finishing the cross. They were dragging. For 17 hearings, they dragged the cross-examination. The judge told them that you please conclude the cross. They were dragging and not concluding. The reason was that in the meantime, they were trying to somehow put pressure on Jagdish Kaur. They even sent the message to her that we will give you 5 crore, we will give you this, that, but all kind of things. But anyhow, that lady didn't budge. I was telling you about this Supreme Court. Again, Justice Sanghi's order on the 17th day of the cross-examination of Jagdish Kaur, when they have assured the court that we will conclude on that day morning, they filed their SLP came up for hearing before the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court granted them the stay. Some people in the media called me that the Supreme Court had granted the stay in the case. Now this is very strange when the witness is in the witness box. The charges are challenged and you grant a stay. This is very, very strange. So I immediately went to Supreme Court. I asked the media person where the matter is listed. We found it and the way it is listed. It was listed in Justice Sata's Women's Court. I interrupted the court in between. I said, Your Lordship has granted this stay. This is the 17th day of the witnesses in the witness box. She is being cross-examined. The other judge, I will not name him. The other judge with Satha Swim says, This is no way of mentioning the matter. I said, This is no way of granting the stay. The whole court was shocked. They said, Now he'll go in for contempt. Justice Satha Shivam understood. He said, Calm down, calm down. We are listing the matter after 2 weeks. Listed after 2 weeks. Otherwise, normally in the Supreme Court, once the stay is granted, then the reply comes and the appearance comes of every person, and it takes months and months and months. So that day, if the court had not added that little Sajjan Kumar's lawyers tried their best to get a adjournment because they wanted the same judge. But Satha Shivam did not listen. He didn't agree to adjournment. He said, Start your argument. Same day he had argument, he reserved the judgment. And now that judgment is a landmark judgment of Satha Shivam and Justice Anil Dubey. Justice Anil Dubey was totally in our favor. Totally in our favor. And they dismissed Sajjan Kumar's petition. And then the matter went on after that. There were many ups and downs. The Cheema and DP Singh, Special Public Prosecutor, and Cheema's daughter, Taranam Cheema, they came all when they shifted from Chandigarh to Delhi, and they worked very hard into the matter. And you see, while going through the records, Cheema found the Roj Namcha of Delhi County Police Station. The police record and the government record had shown that 341 Sikhs are killed in Delhi County Police Station. Apart from vehicles or houses, the police Rojnamcha shows on 1st November, कोई वाकया काबिले recording नहीं है, बल्कि no crime report is there. On 2nd November, कोई वाकया काबिले record नहीं है. 3rd November, 4th November, same thing. So and so has gone on Parvai, when he has come back and he has reported there's nothing worth record, no crime has happened. And according to the government, during those 3 days, 341 Sikhs are killed. So Cheema placed this Rojnamcha before the court. And he said, this is the kind of investigation which the police has done. This is the role of the police. And the CBI and Cheema, after that, he said that the Delhi police should have been the accused along with them. Because the way they have whitewashed all these cases, the way they try to erase all the records, this is what they have done. So Sajjan Kumar's main plea was that Delhi police have earlier conducted the investigation, they have given them the clean sheet. And in the case of Nirpreet's father, in that case also, the case was started. That's the time Nirpreet came to know earlier. She didn't know about what happened about her father's case. In 1986 itself, the judgment of acquittal of these people, along with Sajjan Kumar, there were other accused in this case was Balban Khokar, ex-councillor, Mahinder Yadav, ex-MLA, and other people. They were accused in that matter also. In 1986, the judgment says the police has sent a summons to Sampurn Kaur and Nirpreet Kaur. The Sampurn Kaur is the mother of Nirpreet. And they say they have left their house in not traceable. Now they send the summon to the same house which was burnt. They sent over there. Only one summon was sent. They say they have left. Their address is not known. The court do not make any effort. Court says evidence closed, argument heard, no evidence, they are acquitted. This is the kind of prosecution was done. I mean, police, prosecutor, the judge, everybody is party to this. Now, later on, when the appeal was pending of this case before the High Court, in the bench of Justice Geeta Mittal. She was acting Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, and later on she retired as the Chief Justice of J&K High Court. When they tried to take the benefit of the judgment that we have already have been acquitted, Geeta Mittal was shocked. She passed a 200-page order. She said, this is shame on the whole system. He said, these are the matters which should be retried, reinvestigated, and fresh prosecution need to be done. She passed a detailed order, and she said, issue notices to them why these cases should not be reinvestigated, retried. After that, they went to Supreme Court. That matter is still going on and pending in High Court. But this is the kind of thing. This was at such a high level, the efforts were made to shield the accused. All these accused.
It is my pleasure to welcome Advocate Taranam Cheema, who worked as a special public prosecutor in both CBI cases against Sajjan Kumar. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today.
Hi, the pleasure is all mine.
Thank you, ma'am. I wanted to begin by asking how you first came to be involved in the prosecution against Sajjan Kumar.
Initially, my father, Mr. R.S. Cheema, was appointed as a special public prosecutor by the first DB of the Delhi High Court. And once the trial started, which was in 2010, he needed a team which was here constantly because he was basically based out of Punjab and Haryana High Court. So then I became involved because I was looking after the case on a day-to-day basis, and subsequently the CBI appointed me as the prosecutor as well. So this is how we became involved in these matters.
Could you speak about the experience of working on the prosecution in that first Sajjan Kumar case?
I think it was my first case for the prosecution because we are mostly defense lawyers, and it was a great honor because, you know, the trust which was shown in our team by the Honorable Delhi High Court. So, and the nature of cases was such that, you know, it required a lot of work to be done, and also at the same time a lot of trust towards the victims, you know, towards the CBI, and we had to play the role of, being the middle path sort of between the victims and the CBI, because the victims did not trust prosecuting agencies. They had been fighting for justice for almost 30 years, and it was very difficult for us to make them believe that, you know, you're in safe hands and your cases won't be spoiled. Your cases will be taken to justice, and we will do whatever we can to ensure that justice is done after all these years. It was a special experience because we were dealing with matters which were very old. So to, you know, look into the records, to go in deep into what was there, and also the previous investigations, how they had been a deliberate attempt on prosecuting agencies before the CBI came into picture to ensure that everything remains under the wraps and the truth never comes out. So that was the real challenge that we faced.
Could you speak a bit more about the Delhi Cant case?
Right, the Delhi Cant case basically emanated from statement of the star witness Jagdish Kaur, who had lost five male members of her family, including her husband, her son, and three of her brothers. Peculiar thing had happened in this matter was that there was an omnibus FIR called FIR 416 of 84, which was registered in the Delhi Cant. Now that FIR was initially lodged by one Baljeet Kaur for the death of her father. But what happened that all the incidents which happened in Delhi Cant and all the complaints which were made, they were just kept along with this FIR. So you are aware the law says that whenever there is a cognizable offence, there needs to be a separate FIR. So to scale down the offense, what the Delhi police did was they clubbed all these FIRs. And eventually, only in 5 cases, they filed a charge sheet. And all of them ended in acquittal because in 3 of the cases, they did not even ensure that the complainants depose. So they filed a charge sheet where only the police official deposed, the complainants weren't made to depose, and obviously there was no evidence and they ended in acquittal. Incidentally, while arguing the appeal before the Delhi High Court, we brought this up, and the Delhi High Court, on its own motion, it's called court on its own motion, using the divisional powers, has taken notice of this and has issued show cause notice to not only Delhi police but the victims of those cases which were tried and the complainants were never produced, and also the accused. But unfortunately, with the passage of time, what remains today is that we only have 3 accused, and most of the victims are also not available. So, I mean, that was a great endeavor by the Delhi High Court, but this is what has happened there. So, the complaint of Jagdish Kaur was part of this 416 FIR, and it was never prosecuted. So there were 21 complaints which were part of this, and only 5 were sent up for trial. So after Jagdish Kaur, even today, they are almost, so hers would be the 6th. So there are almost a number of complaints which have never been prosecuted. She had given an affidavit before the Ranganath Mishra Commission, and then she had given an affidavit before the Nanavati Commission. So from there, the CBI, and she'd also come and made a statement before the Nanavati Commission. From there, the CBI got documents, and then they approached her, and then her statements were recorded, and that's how the investigation unfolded. During her statement, she mentioned presence of her brother Jagsher, who was also the brother of the 3 brothers who were killed. So he did not figure anywhere in the Delhi police investigation. So the CBI were able to find him because he was also based in Punjab, and then his statement was also recorded. Now the third star witness in this matter was Nirpreet Kaur. So Nirpreet Kaur's father, who was Nirmal Singh, he was the head of the Gurdwara in Delhi Cant. As you must have now figured out, the modus operandi of the riots was that first they attacked the place of worship, and the important people of the community in the area, and then they moved on in frenzy, killing Sikhs across lanes, etc. So her father was a very important figure in Delhi Cant. He was the head of the Gurdwara. And there was a very concerted effort by the culprits, including Mahinder Yadav, Balwan Khokhar, to ensure that he is murdered first, because then that sends out a message to the community that one of the most important persons in your community is now no more. That murder, in fact, because Nirpreet was based out of Delhi, her mother was based out of Delhi. So her mother, Sampuran Kaur, had made a complaint, but Delhi police did not act on the complaint. They sent up, when they found out that both Nirpreet and Sampuran Kaur were very active in pursuing the complaint, they sent up the case for trial. But besides Sampuran Kaur being in Delhi, and them knowing about whereabouts of Nirpreet, they were never produced before the court, and because they were never produced before the court, the matter ended in acquittal. So she was also examined in this matter, and she also spoke about Sajjan Kumar's presence, and in fact she corroborates what Jagdish Kaur says, that on 2nd he was seen making a hate speech, and Jagsher sees him on the previous night when he's examining the area. So that's what that's the kind of evidence that CBI was able to collect.
And when that case was prosecuted, did any court at any point order that these different complaints be split and prosecuted and investigated separately?
Not at all. In fact, if you look at the orders passed in the initial 84 cases, it was really shocking for us as lawyers to see such orders, because uh, in one of these matters, I think Nitpeet's matter only, the judge says that the police is deliberately not producing the complainant. Then on the next day proceeds with the case and acquits. So in 3 months, they're completing trials as if the whole exercise is just to show that, oh, the matter's been sent for trial, but because nobody's shown up, they're all ending in acquittal. I would doubt that in matters of mass genocide, there have been so many acquittals in any jurisprudence or jurisdiction, as to say that, as in the 84 riots, and especially this area, because like I've told you, 21 complaints, so 5 went for trial, 1 is Jagdish Kaur, and rest are still today not investigated.
And so logistically, when you were working on the prosecution of the Delhi Cant case, how does prosecution in an omnibus FIR work? Like, do you...
It was very difficult for us because that was the star argument. And then when we were able to show to the courts, because we had to, the problem before us was, do we rely on the previous investigation, because the previous investigation is very shoddy, or do we rely on it and say that because it is shoddy and all this has happened, that's why this case needed to be prosecuted. So eventually we had to bring everything on record. The defense also, that was the main defense evidence. They examined 17 witnesses, and interestingly, all the Delhi police officials were examined by the defense as defense witnesses. So it is through them that we were able to build the case, because in cross, when we asked them that, did you go to the area, they didn't even go to the area, some of the Delhi police officials, to investigate. So that is the kind of investigation they were doing. And because Jagdish Kaur was pursuing the matter, they would reopen the investigation. So the first, they reopened it with the riot cell in 92. Then they kept sending her summons to an address, because she had to move to Punjab. 5 members of her family were dead. She didn't have any means, so she moved with her young children to Punjab. And they would ensure that the address to which the summons are sent is wrong. She was never residing there. So we were able to bring out in her evidence, her various addresses, and show to the court that where the Delhi police sent summons, nobody was residing on those addresses. So you're only, doing a job to show the court that you're sending summons, but actually you are just sort of putting everything under the radar so that the witnesses don't show up and these matters end in acquittal. So that was the main plank of our strategy, to show that the investigation was so shoddy that after all these years, once the matter was reinvestigated, was by the CBI, the truth could come out.
Were there any attacks on any of the witnesses or any threats to their safety?
The witnesses were very scared to come, and I think initially once the charges were framed sometime in April, May, and July was the date of evidence. So before the evidence, they had moved an application to Mr. Cheema as the special public prosecutor that they would require security. And they were so scared of the Delhi police, because Delhi police officials were complicit in the riots, which is coming out in their evidence. So they were so scared of the Delhi police that they specially requested that the Punjab police be entrusted with providing them security. So we made that request and to the center, and then Punjab police accompanied them every time they came to give evidence.
And how is it working with witnesses who were being made to depose several decades after the incident?
I think it was very difficult because, Jagdish Kaur, I think, was a stellar example, because she remembered every little thing, and she was one of the witnesses. If you see the cross examination, she was under cross-examination for months together, and she withstood that cross. In fact, from her cross, a lot of findings were returned. So she remembered everything, but also given the old age, the fear factor, it was tough to, get them to come and consistently depose. And then the other factor was that they had named a few of their neighbors, neighbors who had helped them, who were Hindus who had helped them. So CBI had also examined those neighbors, and those neighbors had said that yes, we helped them hide, etc. But those neighbors, when they came to the witness box, they all turned hostile, because such was the power yielded by the accused. They all turned hostile. Then, in fact, so we asked them that, you still have relations with them, you still meet these people. So Jagsher had a picture of one of these people, Ram Avatar Sharma, of a wedding which he had attended. So then once we were able to show him the picture that, you are not deposing properly, because here's a picture, you're still meeting them. And that then changed his testimony, that neighbor. So that was one feature. Then secondly, there were two witnesses who had not made a complaint, but whose family members had died, and they had given very vivid description of the riot in the area. One was Manjeet Singh and one was a lady, Baljeet Kaur, I would reckon. So they were not ready to meet the prosecutors or meet the IO, because they were both based in Delhi and they were extremely scared. But they came and they deposed. Incidentally, they didn't name even a single accused. But the description that they gave of the riot was so vivid that even their testimonies have been relied upon by the Delhi High Court when they've returned the finding of guilt.
Could you describe what it felt like when the trial court first passed judgment in the Delhi Cant case?
I think it was one of the most disheartening experiences, because the trial court in essence said that there is enough material for all the other accused but for one. So that showed that how dishonest the judgment was, and the Delhi High Court has adversely commented on that part, that once you're looking at evidence and you find that the evidence is sufficient for a set of accused, you are making no distinction between one accused and four. And secondly, if you see the judgment is going, it was I think about 120 odd pages. It is going in one direction, and then suddenly when Sajjan Kumar is to be acquitted, in 3 pages it completely turns color. And it was very, very evident, and it was sad, and that's why I think we pursued the case up to the High Court. We filed the appeal, and then every effort was made to make the High Court hear the case expeditiously, and so that because 30 years had passed, how much more time were the victims to look at? So that's how we managed.
Who were the other accused in the case, ma'am?
So the other accused in the case was one Mahinder Yadav. He then I think became the MLA of the area also. Unfortunately, during COVID, I think he's passed away. Then there was Balwan Khokhar. Balwan Khokhar was, in fact, had a very notorious role to play in the whole incident, because he was the councillor of the area, the right hand man of Sajjan Kumar, and he then usurped all the properties of the Sikhs who left from that area because they were affected and whose families had died, and he then had a very strong hold in the area. So if you would go to Delhi Cant at that time, his posters were everywhere. He was extremely powerful. And interestingly, in his 313 statement, he also admitted that he had gone to the, so there was a incident which Nirpreet narrates in her evidence, saying that, you know, even after the riots, they were pursuing where our families were. So after the riots, they had all gone to the Gurdwara, which were like camps, and he then followed them to the Gurdwara, and he's admitted to doing that in his 313. So he was there, and then one Girdhari Lal and one Captain Bhagmal, who was, I think, in the Indian Navy at that time, and who played a role in killing of the three brothers of Jagdish Kumar.
What was it like working with the CBI?
So it was very interesting because, you know, usually I would do defense cases.
That's also why I'm
them.
asking, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a very enriching learning experience because as a prosecutor, you have to look at the entire case. You know, when you're appearing for the defense, you're just looking out for the interest of your client, and you're not really looking at the entire. But as a prosecutor, you have to look at every part of the case, and also your hands are tied on a lot of things. You don't have the opportunity to cross-examine and just put any document you find. The documents have to be filed in a certain way, you know. So all of that. Then we had an opportunity to, so during the course of the trial, we came across this document which was, I think, a clincher in this case, and the High Court also comments upon that. That is the DDR register, the daily diary register of the police station during those 3 days of rioting. And that is a telltale document about the complicity of the Delhi police, because that document says, I mean, there have been 341 killings in Delhi Cant, but that document says for all those 3 days that not a bird has died. And that is a police document, and there is no mention of any riot. And this is what is maintained in the, in the police stations. So if your daily diary register does not talk about the incidents, then it shows that the whole idea was to allow these, these people to just go on a carnage, and then also ensure that they are not punished. So it was a conspiracy to, ensure no punishments, and a free hand was given to them for 3 days to just do whatever they wanted.
Could you speak now about the High Court proceedings a bit, ma'am, in the Delhi Cant case?
Yeah, so the High Court proceedings started way back when we first opened the appeal. Erstwhile Justice Geeta Mittal was heading the bench, and when we first brought this to her notice, that in FIR 416, in these 5 matters which went up to prosecution, there was, the witnesses weren't examined. She then exercised the revisional powers and, issued show cause notice. But by the time the appeal came right for arguments, she was made the acting chief of, Jammu and Kashmir High Court. So then Justice Muralidhar's bench had heard this matter, and it was heard on priority, because see, with the defense, the strategy is always to delay hearings, and because it was an acquittal for Sajjan Kumar, he was out. Though the rest of the people who were convicted were behind bars, but then the idea was to, look after the boss's interest, and the idea was to delay. So, to which Justice Muralidhar, said nothing doing, and he heard it on a day-to-day basis, and that's how, I mean, we were able to ensure that the judgment comes out in time.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for being so generous with your time and for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, ma'am.